Hey guys, welcome to Pokemon. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Ash got teleported to the Dragon Ball Z universe? Part 1. Before starting, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are interested in Pokemon fanfictions. Now without wasting any more time, let's dive in. Here's a short summary. Ash and his Pokemon are unexpectedly teleported to the Dragon Ball Z universe, where they team up with Goku and his friends. Together, they navigate intense battles, harness new powers, and confront the challenge of stabilizing a dangerous dimensional rift to find their way back home. Now let's get to the story. The sun was setting over the dense forest where Ash Ketchum and his loyal Pokemon team found themselves in a tense standoff against Team Rocket. The air crackled with tension and the hum of Pikachu's electric cheeks, ready to unleash a thunderbolt at any moment. Ash, clad in his familiar cap and vest, stood resolute, flanked by his most trusted companions, Charizard, Greninja, Lucario, and Pikachu. "Pikachu, Thunderbolt!" Ash commanded, pointing at Team Rocket's latest mechanical monstrosity, a spider-like robot bristling with gadgets. Pikachu's eyes narrowed as he focused his energy. Bolts of electricity danced around his cheeks before he released a powerful blast. The electric attack arced through the air, striking the robot's central mechanism. Sparks flew as the machine shuddered under the onslaught, but Jessie, James, and Meowth inside seemed unfazed. "Oh no, you don't," Jessie shouted, flipping a switch on the console. "Activate the rift generator." The robot's metal legs planted themselves into the ground, and a strange hum filled the air. The machine's central eye glowed a sinister purple as an energy field began to form around it. Ash's eyes widened as he felt an unfamiliar force tugging at him, his hair standing on end as static filled the air. "Rift generator," Ash muttered, bracing himself against the pull. "What are they up to now?" The force grew stronger, drawing in everything around it. Leaves, branches, and small rocks were lifted into the air, swirling toward the machine's eye. Pikachu dug in his tiny heels, electricity still crackling around him as he fought against the strange pull. Charizard roared in defiance, flapping his massive wings to stay grounded, while Greninja and Lucario assumed defensive stances, their eyes scanning for an opening to counterattack. "Pikachu, keep trying," Ash shouted over the rising wind. "Charizard, use flamethrower on the machine's legs." Charizard inhaled deeply, his throat glowing with an intense heat before he unleashed a torrent of flames. The fire wrapped around the robot's legs, causing the metal to glow red and distort from the heat. The machine shuddered, its grip on the ground weakening, but it continued to function. Inside the robot, Team Rocket was struggling to maintain control. The console before them sparked and flickered, the screen displaying erratic data as the rift generator's power surged. Meowth clung to the back of Jessie's seat, his eyes wide with panic. "Are ya sure this thing is supposed to do that?" Meowth yelled, his voice high with anxiety. "Of course it is," Jessie snapped, though she sounded far from confident. "We just need to stabilize the energy output." James was furiously typing commands into the console, trying to regain control. "The rift is opening too fast. If we don't stop it, it could pull us all in." Outside, the energy field continued to grow, expanding outward in a swirling vortex of purple and black. Ash could feel the pull intensify, his body lifting off the ground despite his best efforts to stay anchored. He grabbed onto a nearby tree, holding on with all his strength as the rift threatened to consume him. "Pikachu, return," Ash yelled, reaching for his Pokeball. But before he could activate it, the force became too strong. Pikachu was lifted into the air, his small body pulled toward the vortex. He cried out, electricity sparking around him as he struggled to resist. "No!" Ash screamed, releasing his grip on the tree. He lunged toward Pikachu, his hand outstretched. But the rift's pull was too powerful. Ash, Pikachu, and the rest of his team were sucked into the swirling vortex, their cries of alarm blending with the roar of the energy field. For a moment, everything was a blur of color and sound. Ash felt himself tumbling through space, his Pokemon by his side. The world around him twisted and distorted, a kaleidoscope of shapes and lights that left him dizzy and disoriented. He could feel Pikachu's tiny body pressed against his chest, his fur standing on end from the residual static. Then, with a sudden jolt, they were thrown out of the vortex. Ash landed hard on his back, the impact driving the breath from his lungs. He gasped, struggling to sit up as his vision cleared. The forest was gone, replaced by a landscape that was both familiar and alien. Ash found himself lying in a meadow under a sky that seemed somehow too vibrant, the colors more intense than he had ever seen. The air was filled with a strange energy, making his skin tingle and his heart race. He looked around, spotting his Pokémon scattered nearby, all of them dazed but unharmed. Pikachu! Ash called, pushing himself to his feet. Pikachu lay nearby, his ears twitching as he slowly opened his eyes. Ash scooped him up, relief flooding through him as he hugged his partner tightly. "Are you okay?" Pikachu nodded weakly, nuzzling against Ash's cheek. "Pika. Where are we?" Ash murmured, looking around. The meadow stretched out before them, bordered by dense forests and distant mountains. The sky above was a brilliant blue, dotted with fluffy white clouds that seemed to move faster than normal. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario were picking themselves up, shaking off the disorientation of their abrupt arrival. Charizard stretched his wings, testing them for damage, while Greninja crouched low, his eyes scanning the surroundings. Lucario's ears twitched, sensing the unfamiliar energies in the air. "This place, it feels different," Ash said, his brow furrowing. "Like it's full of some kind of energy?" As if in response, a shadow passed overhead. Ash looked up to see a figure flying through the sky, trailing a bright streak of light. He squinted, trying to make out the details. It looked like a person, but they were moving so fast it was hard to tell. Before he could process what he was seeing, the figure changed course, descending rapidly toward the meadow. Ash's heart skipped a beat as the figure landed a short distance away, the impact sending a shockwave through the ground. Dust and grass flew up around them, obscuring their form for a moment before settling. Ash's eyes widened as the dust cleared, revealing a tall, muscular man with wild black hair and a determined expression. He wore an orange and blue GI, a symbol emblazoned on his chest. Ash's mind raced as he took in the sight. This person seemed powerful, radiating an aura of strength and confidence. The man approached, his expression curious yet cautious. "Hey there," he said, his voice friendly but firm. "You don't look like you're from around here." Ash swallowed, trying to find his voice. No, we're not. I'm Ash Ketchum, and these are my Pokémon. We got pulled through some kind of dimensional rift." The man's eyes widened slightly at the mention of a rift. "Dimensional rift? That sounds serious. I'm Goku. You're in a place called Earth, and judging by your arrival, something pretty big must have happened." Ash nodded, still trying to process the situation. "We were fighting Team Rocket, and they used some kind of machine that created a rift. Next thing we knew, we were here." Goku's expression grew more serious. "Team Rocket, huh? Sounds like trouble. If they've got technology that can create dimensional rifts, that could be a real problem." Before Ash could respond, another figure landed nearby, this one smaller but just as imposing. It was a young man with black hair and a serious demeanor, dressed in a similar GI to Goku's but with a different symbol. He looked Ash and his Pokémon over, his gaze sharp and assessing. "Who are they, Dad?" the young man asked, his voice steady. Goku turned to him, a slight smile on his face. "This is Ash and his Pokémon. They got pulled here through a dimensional rift created by some villains. This is my son, Gohan." Gohan's expression softened slightly. "A dimensional rift? That's not something you hear every day. Are you all okay?" Ash nodded, feeling a bit overwhelmed by the rapid turn of events. "Yeah, I think so. We just need to figure out how to get back home." Goku scratched his head, looking thoughtful. "Well, if anyone can help with something like this, it's probably Bulma. She's got all kinds of gadgets and technology. We should take you to her." Ash felt a surge of hope. "That sounds great. Maybe she can figure out how to send us back." Goku nodded, then turned to look at Ash's Pokémon. "Your friends there are pretty impressive. They've got some unique abilities, don't they?" Ash smiled proudly. "Yeah, they do. Pikachu here can use electric attacks, and Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario each have their own special skills. We've been through a lot together." Goku's eyes lit up with interest. "Electric attacks, huh? That sounds pretty cool. I'd love to see what they can do." Ash grinned, feeling a bit of his old confidence return. "Sure thing. Pikachu, show them a thunderbolt." Pikachu's ears perked up, and he nodded eagerly. He concentrated, his cheeks sparking with electricity before releasing a bolt of lightning into the sky. The bright flash and crackling energy lit up the meadow, illuminating the surprised faces of Goku and Gohan. They watched in awe as the thunderbolt streaked across the sky, leaving a faint trail of electric energy in its wake. Goku's eyes widened with genuine excitement, his usual carefree demeanor momentarily replaced by a focused interest. "Whoa, that's amazing!" Goku exclaimed, his voice filled with genuine admiration. "I've never seen anything like that before. Your Pikachu is really something." Ash beamed with pride at Pikachu's display. "Thanks, Pikachu's Thunderbolt packs quite a punch." Gohan approached Pikachu cautiously, his hand outstretched in a friendly gesture. "Hey there, Pikachu. I'm Gohan. It's nice to meet you." Pikachu eyed Gohan for a moment before cautiously sniffing his hand. Finding Gohan's intentions friendly, Pikachu chirped softly and nudged his cheek against Gohan's hand, a sign of acceptance. Gohan chuckled softly, scratching Pikachu behind the ear. "You're pretty brave to face such strong opponents. I bet you and your friends have been through a lot together." Ash nodded, his expression turning more serious. "Yeah, we have. We've faced powerful trainers, battled legendary Pokémon, and even saved the world a few times." Goku's eyes widened with intrigue. "Saved the world? That's incredible. You must be a really skilled trainer." Before Ash could respond, a familiar voice interrupted from behind them. "Hey, Goku. Who are your new friends?" They turned to see a woman with vibrant blue hair approaching. She wore a white lab coat over a stylish outfit, a small device held in her hand. Her confident stride and curious expression marked her as someone accustomed to handling unexpected situations. "Bulma!" Goku exclaimed with a smile. "These are Ash and his Pokémon. They got pulled here through a dimensional rift created by Team Rocket." Bulma's eyes widened with surprise. "A dimensional rift? That's fascinating. I've been studying interdimensional travel for years, but I've never seen anything like this." Ash stepped forward eagerly. "Can you help us? We need to find a way back to our world." Bulma nodded thoughtfully, scanning Ash and his Pokémon with a handheld device. "I think I can help, but it might take some time. We'll need to analyze the energy signatures from the rift and calibrate my equipment accordingly." Goku grinned reassuringly at Ash. "Don't worry. Bulma's the best when it comes to technology. If anyone can figure this out, it's her." Ash felt a wave of relief wash over him. For the first time since their arrival, he allowed himself to relax slightly. "Thank you, Bulma. We really appreciate your help." Bulma waved off his gratitude with a dismissive gesture. "No problem. It's not every day we get visitors from another dimension. Besides, it sounds like Team Rocket is up to something dangerous. We can't let them cause any more trouble." Gohan nodded in agreement. "We should keep an eye out for any unusual activity. If Team Rocket has technology that can create dimensional rifts, they might try something else." As the group discussed their next steps, a low rumbling sound echoed across the meadow. Ash turned to see a small capsule-shaped vehicle descending from the sky, landing gently nearby. The hatch opened, revealing an older man with a bald head and a sharp gaze. "Goku, Bulma, what's going on?" the man asked, his voice gruff but concerned. He wore a white martial arts uniform, his stance confident and authoritative. Goku stepped forward with a grin. "Master Roshi, you won't believe what happened. We found these guys who got pulled here through a dimensional rift." Master Roshi's eyes widened with surprise. "A dimensional rift? That's serious business. We'd better be careful." Bulma nodded, her expression determined. "We're working on a way to send them back, but it might take some time. In the meantime, we need to keep an eye out for any more rifts or unusual activity." Master Roshi crossed his arms, his gaze flickering between Ash and his Pokémon. "Well, if they're here, they must be pretty strong. We should make sure they're prepared for anything." Goku grinned, his usual cheerful demeanor returning. "That's a great idea. We can spar with them and see what they're capable of." Ash's eyes lit up with excitement. "That sounds awesome. We'd love to train with you." Over the next few hours, Ash and his Pokémon sparred with Goku, Gohan, and even Master Roshi. They exchanged techniques and strategies, learning from each other's unique fighting styles. Pikachu demonstrated his agility and quick reflexes, dodging Goku's lightning-fast punches with ease. Charizard and Greninja showcased their powerful attacks, adapting their moves to counter Gohan's ki blasts. Lucario engaged Master Roshi in a battle of wits and strength, using his aura abilities to predict and evade attacks. Throughout the training session, Ash marveled at the strength and skill of his new friends. Goku's boundless energy and thirst for battle inspired him, while Gohan's calm demeanor and analytical mind offered valuable insights into combat strategy. Master Roshi's wisdom and experience provided a solid foundation for their training, guiding Ash and his Pokémon toward new levels of power and discipline. As the sun began to set, signaling the end of their training session, Ash and his Pokémon gathered with Goku, Gohan, Bulma, and Master Roshi around a campfire. They shared stories of their adventures and experiences, forging a bond of friendship and mutual respect. "You know," Goku said with a smile, "I've never met anyone quite like you, Ash. Your Pokémon are amazing, and your determination is inspiring." Ash grinned, feeling a sense of pride in his accomplishments. "Thanks, Goku. It's been a wild journey, but I wouldn't trade it for anything." Bulma nodded in agreement, her expression thoughtful. "You've certainly made an impression on all of us. If there's anything else we can do to help, just let us know." Gohan glanced up at the stars, his gaze distant yet hopeful. "We'll find a way to send you back home, Ash, I promise." With those words ringing in his ears, Ash settled down for the night, Pikachu curled up beside him. As he drifted off to sleep, he felt a sense of gratitude and optimism. Despite the challenges ahead, he knew that with his new friends by his side, anything was possible. Little did they know, however, that their adventure was far from over. In the shadows, unseen and unnoticed, a new threat was beginning to stir. A shadowy figure watched from a distance, eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. Their arrival had not gone unnoticed, and soon, they would make their presence known. But for now, under the blanket of stars and the watchful eyes of newfound allies, Ash Ketchum and his Pokémon slept peacefully, dreaming of home and the adventures that awaited them. The meadow where Ash and his Pokémon had found themselves after being pulled through the dimensional rift was quiet now, bathed in the soft light of dawn. Pikachu stirred beside Ash, his small form curled up against his trainer for warmth. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario lay nearby, still asleep but alert for any signs of danger. Ash blinked awake, the events of the previous day flooding back to him. He remembered the chaos of battling Team Rocket, the strange machine that had created the rift, and their sudden arrival in this unfamiliar world. Yet despite the uncertainty and the dangers they faced, Ash couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. This was a new adventure, a chance to explore new places and meet new people. As he sat up, stretching his arms above his head, Ash caught sight of Goku and Gohan already up and about. They were busy preparing breakfast over a crackling campfire, the smell of cooking food drifting through the cool morning air. Ash's stomach rumbled in response, reminding him that they hadn't eaten since before the rift incident. "Morning, Ash," Goku called cheerfully, flashing a bright smile. "Sleep well?" Ash nodded, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. "Yeah, thanks, sorry for crashing your campsite like this." Gohan chuckled softly, flipping a pancake with practiced ease. "No need to apologize. It's not every day we get visitors from another dimension." Ash glanced around the meadow, taking in the serene surroundings. The mountains in the distance glowed with the first light of morning, their peaks dusted with snow. Birds chirped in the trees, their songs a cheerful backdrop to the quiet conversation around the campfire. "I still can't believe we're here," Ash murmured, more to himself than to anyone in particular. "It feels like a dream." Goku nodded sympathetically, his expression thoughtful. "I know it's a lot to take in, but don't worry, Ash. We'll figure out how to get you back home." Ash smiled gratefully at Goku's reassurance. "Thanks, Goku. I really appreciate your help." Bulma emerged from the capsule vehicle she had arrived in the previous day, holding a small device in her hand. Her blue hair was slightly tousled from sleep, but her eyes were sharp and focused as she approached the campfire. "Good morning, everyone," Bulma greeted, her voice brisk but friendly. "I've been analyzing the data from the rift incident. It seems stable for now, but we need to be cautious." Goku nodded in understanding. "Got it. We'll keep an eye out for any unusual energy readings or signs of dimensional instability." Bulma glanced at Ash and his Pokémon, her gaze curious. "Have you noticed anything unusual since you arrived? Any changes in your abilities or energy levels?" Ash thought back to their training session the previous day. Pikachu had seemed more energized than usual, his Thunderbolt attack stronger and more focused. Charizard had mastered a new aerial maneuver, while Greninja's water-based attacks had taken on an unexpected potency. Lucario had even demonstrated a new ability to sense and manipulate aura energy, a skill that had surprised everyone, including Ash. Yeah, now that you mention it, Ash replied slowly, his brow furrowing in thought. My Pokémon seem to have gained new abilities since we arrived here. Pikachu's Thunderbolt was more powerful than ever, and Charizard and the others have been learning new moves. Bulma nodded, jotting down notes on her device. Fascinating. It's possible that the dimensional rift altered the energy signatures of your Pokémon, allowing them to tap into new abilities. We'll need to study this further. Gohan set a plate of pancakes and fruit on the makeshift table, his expression thoughtful. If the rift is affecting Pokémon abilities, it could have wider implications. We need to understand its effects on both worlds. Ash glanced at his Pokémon, who were now awake and eagerly devouring their breakfast. I just want to make sure they're okay. They've been through a lot with me. Goku grinned, reaching over to ruffle Pikachu's ears affectionately. Your Pokémon are strong, Ash. I can tell they've been well trained. We'll do everything we can to help them. As they ate breakfast and discussed their plans for the day, a shadow fell across the meadow. Ash looked up to see a small, winged creature hovering above them, its bright eyes fixed on Pikachu with a mixture of curiosity and caution. What's that? Ash asked, pointing at the creature. Goku and Gohan exchanged a knowing glance. That's Dend, Goku explained, gesturing toward the creature. He's a Namekian, and he's been living here on Earth for a while now. Dend landed gracefully beside the campfire, his wings folding neatly against his back. Hello, everyone. I sensed a disturbance in the energy field and came to investigate. Bulma nodded, her interest piqued. We've been studying the dimensional rift that brought Ash and his Pokémon here. Do you know anything about it? Den's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Dimensional rifts are rare, but not unheard of. They can be caused by powerful energy fluctuations or disruptions in the fabric of space and time. Ash listened intently, absorbing Den's words. So, Team Rocket's machine could have created the rift by accident? Den nodded solemnly. It's possible. Machines that manipulate energy on that scale are unpredictable. They can disrupt the natural balance of energy fields, creating rifts that lead to other dimensions. Goku scratched his head, his expression troubled. If Team Rocket's machine caused the rift, we need to stop them before they cause any more damage. Bulma's device beeped suddenly, drawing her attention back to her readings. I'm picking up a disturbance in the energy field. It's coming from the north, near the mountains. Gohan frowned, his senses alert. We should investigate. It could be Team Rocket or something else causing trouble. Ash nodded, his determination renewed. Let's go. We can't let them get away with causing more chaos. Goku grinned, his eyes sparkling with excitement. That's the spirit, Ash. We'll go check it out and see what's going on. With their breakfast finished and their resolve strengthened, Ash, Goku, Gohan, Bulma, and Den set out toward the mountains. The landscape changed as they traveled, the meadow giving way to rugged terrain and towering trees. Birds called overhead, their cries echoing through the forest as they approached their destination. As they neared the source of the disturbance, Ash felt a prickling sensation on the back of his neck. The air grew charged with energy, the faint hum of machinery audible in the distance. Pikachu's ears twitched nervously, sensing the approaching danger. There it is, Bulma said quietly, pointing ahead. Through the trees, they could see a clearing where a massive machine stood. It resembled the one Team Rocket had used, but this one was larger and more complex, with multiple antennae and glowing energy coils. A group of figures in black uniforms moved around the machine, their voices raised in excited chatter. It's Team Rocket, Ash exclaimed, his voice tinged with anger. They're up to something again. Goku and Gohan exchanged a knowing glance. We'll need to approach carefully, Goku said, his voice low. We don't want to alert them before we're ready. Bulma nodded, her expression focused. I'll try to disable their machine remotely. If we can shut it down, we might be able to stop whatever they're planning. Dend hovered nearby, his eyes narrowed in concentration. I'll create a distraction. It should give you enough time to get close. Ash glanced at his Pokémon, who were ready for action. Charizard's wings flared with anticipation, while Greninja and Lucario assumed defensive stances. Pikachu crackled with electricity, his eyes fixed on Team Rocket's machine with determination. "Let's do this," Ash said quietly, his voice steady. With a nod from Bulma, Den soared into the sky, emitting a bright flash of light. His wings beat rhythmically as he circled above Team Rocket, drawing their attention away from the machine. The grunts looked up in confusion, shielding their eyes from the sudden glare. "Now's our chance," Goku whispered, leading the way through the trees. Ash and his Pokémon followed closely behind, their footsteps silent on the forest floor. They moved quickly but cautiously, staying low to avoid detection. Bulma kept pace with them, her device held out in front of her as she focused on the task at hand. As they approached the clearing, Ash's heart raced with anticipation. He could hear Team Rocket's voices more clearly now, their excitement palpable. He gripped Pikachu's Pokeball tightly, ready to unleash his partner's power when the time was right. Goku motioned for them to stop just outside the clearing. He crouched low, his eyes scanning the area for any signs of danger. Gohan and Bulma took up positions nearby, their expressions serious and focused. "We need to disable the machine without alerting Team Rocket," Goku whispered, his voice barely audible. "Once Bulma gives the signal, we move in." Ash nodded, his pulse pounding in his ears. He felt a surge of adrenaline as they waited, tension mounting with each passing second. Pikachu's ears twitched nervously, his tail flicking back and forth in anticipation. Suddenly, Bulma's device beeped urgently, signaling that she had accessed the control panel of Team Rocket's machine. With swift precision, she began typing commands, her brow furrowed in concentration. The machine hummed and whirred in response, its energy coils glowing brighter as Bulma worked to disable its functions remotely. From their vantage point, Ash and his companions watched with bated breath. The grunts were still distracted by Den's aerial display, their attention focused on the Namekian hovering above them. This gave Ash and the others a crucial window of opportunity to act without being detected. "Now's our chance," Goku murmured, his voice low yet resolute. "Let's move." With a silent nod, Ash released Pikachu from his Pokeball. The electric Pokémon landed lightly on the ground, his cheeks crackling with stored electricity. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario positioned themselves strategically, ready to support Pikachu and Ash as they approached the machine. Goku led the way, moving swiftly and silently through the trees. Gohan followed close behind, his eyes scanning the clearing for any signs of movement. Bulma continued to input commands into her device, her fingers flying over the touchscreen as she worked to neutralize the machine's energy output. As they reached the edge of the clearing, Ash felt a surge of nervous energy. Team Rocket's grunts were still occupied with Den, their backs turned to the approaching group. Now was their chance to disable the machine and prevent whatever sinister plan Team Rocket had in store. Goku motioned for Ash and his Pokémon to spread out, each taking a position around the machine. Pikachu crouched low, his tail swishing back and forth as he prepared to unleash his electric attacks. Charizard's wings flared behind him, ready to launch into action at a moment's notice. Greninja and Lucario stood poised and focused, their eyes locked on the machine before them. "On my signal," Goku whispered, his voice barely audible over the hum of the machine, "we strike together." Ash nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. This was it, the moment they had been preparing for since arriving in this strange new world. With a deep breath, he steadied himself, focusing his mind on the task ahead. Bulma's device emitted a soft beep, indicating that she had successfully overridden the machine's controls. The energy coils dimmed slightly, their glow flickering as Bulma continued to input commands. It was now or never. "Now," Goku called out, his voice ringing clear through the clearing. In perfect synchronization, Ash and his Pokémon surged forward. Pikachu unleashed a powerful thunderbolt, the crackling electricity streaking through the air and striking the machine's energy coils. The coils sparked and sputtered under the onslaught, their glow dimming further as Pikachu poured more energy into the attack. Charizard followed up with a searing flamethrower, directing a torrent of fire at the machine's mechanical components. The intense heat caused metal to warp and smoke to billow, disrupting the machine's internal mechanisms. Greninja leapt into action, launching a torrent of water shurikens that sliced through the air and struck with precision, targeting critical points on the machine. Lucario's aura flared brightly as he focused his energy, channeling it into a powerful force palm. The energy surged through his fists, delivering a devastating blow to the machine's central console. Sparks flew as circuits shorted and panels buckled under the force of Lucario's attack. Team Rocket's grunts finally realized what was happening, turning in alarm to see Ash and his companions wreaking havoc on their machine. Shouts of outrage filled the clearing as they rushed to defend their technology, but it was too late. Bulma's expert hacking had already disabled the machine's core functions, leaving it vulnerable to their assault. "Stop them!" one of the grunts yelled, reaching for a Pokeball at his belt. Before he could release his Pokémon, Goku and Gohan sprang into action. Goku moved with lightning speed, intercepting the grunt before he could react. A flurry of swift punches and kicks sent the grunt staggering back, his Pokeball dropping to the ground forgotten. Gohan's ki flared as he launched a rapid series of energy blasts, each one hitting its mark with pinpoint accuracy. The remaining grunts were quickly overwhelmed by the unexpected onslaught, their attempts to counterattack falling short against Goku and Gohan's combined strength. Ash and his Pokémon continued their assault on the disabled machine, ensuring that it would no longer pose a threat. Pikachu's Thunderbolt intensified, the crackling energy swirling around the machine and causing its components to smoke and sizzle. Charizard's Flamethrower roared louder, engulfing the machine in flames that licked hungrily at its metal shell. With one final strike from Lucario's aura-enhanced Force Palm, the machine groaned and shuddered, its internal mechanisms grinding to a halt. Smoke billowed from its damaged components, signaling that Team Rocket's plan had been thwarted once again. As the dust settled, Ash and his companions stood triumphant. Pikachu and the others gathered around Ash, their expressions a mix of exhaustion and satisfaction. They had faced a powerful enemy and emerged victorious, thanks to their teamwork and determination. "Great job, everyone," Goku said with a wide grin, clapping Ash on the shoulder. "You really showed Team Rocket what you're made of." Ash smiled gratefully, his heart still racing from the adrenaline of battle. "Thanks, Goku. We couldn't have done it without your help." Gohan nodded in agreement, his gaze turning thoughtful. "Team Rocket won't give up that easily. We'll need to stay vigilant and keep an eye out for any more trouble." Bulma approached with a satisfied expression, her device still in hand. "I've disabled the machine's energy output completely. It won't be causing any more dimensional rifts." Dend landed gracefully beside them, his wings folding neatly against his back. "Well done, everyone. You've protected Earth from a potential disaster." As they regrouped and caught their breath, a new voice echoed through the clearing. They turned to see Master Roshi approaching, his expression a mix of pride and concern. Well, looks like you kids had quite the adventure," Master Roshi said with a chuckle, eyeing the disabled machine with interest. "Not bad for your first day in our world, Ash." Ash grinned, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Thanks, Master Roshi. It's been a wild ride so far." Goku clapped his hands together, his eyes alight with excitement. "Now that Team Rocket's plan has been foiled, why don't we celebrate with a feast? I know a great place nearby that serves the best food in town." Bulma and Gohan exchanged amused glances, while Dend nodded in agreement. "A feast sounds like a wonderful idea. We could all use a break after today's events." Ash's stomach rumbled in agreement, reminding him once again that they hadn't eaten since breakfast. "That sounds awesome, let's go." With their spirits high and their newfound friendship solidified, Ash and his companions set off toward Goku's favorite restaurant. They walked side by side, sharing stories and laughter as they made their way through the forest and toward the town beyond. As they approached the bustling streets, Ash couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude. Despite the challenges they had faced and the dangers they had encountered, he knew that he had found true allies in this unfamiliar world. Together, they would continue to explore, learn, and grow stronger with each new adventure that awaited them. And so, under the bright sun and clear skies of the DBZ universe, Ash Ketchum and his Pokémon took their first steps toward a future filled with limitless possibilities. The sun hung high in the sky as Ash and his companions walked through the bustling streets of the town near Goku's home. The aroma of street food filled the air, mingling with the excited chatter of locals going about their day. Goku led the way with a cheerful stride, his energy infectious as he pointed out landmarks and shared stories from his own adventures. "So, this place serves the best food in town," Goku explained, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. "They've got everything: ramen, sushi, barbecue, you name it." Ash's stomach rumbled in anticipation, the aroma of delicious food tempting his senses. Pikachu chirped eagerly from Ash's shoulder, clearly excited at the prospect of a hearty meal after their earlier battle with Team Rocket. "Sounds amazing," Ash replied with a grin. "I can't wait to try it." Gohan walked alongside them, his expression thoughtful. "You did really well back there, Ash. Taking on Team Rocket like that wasn't easy." Ash shrugged modestly, feeling a rush of pride at Gohan's praise. "Thanks, Gohan. It was tough, but we managed to pull through." Bulma joined the conversation, her device tucked securely under her arm. "You've got quite the team of Pokémon, Ash. They're strong and smart." Ash nodded gratefully. "Yeah, they've been with me through thick and thin. I couldn't ask for better partners." As they approached the restaurant, Goku pushed open the door with a wide grin. The interior was cozy and bustling with activity. Patrons seated at tables enjoying their meals and chatting animatedly. The scent of freshly cooked food wafted through the air, making Ash's mouth water in anticipation. A friendly waitress greeted them with a smile, leading them to a large table near the back of the restaurant. They settled into their seats. Pikachu perched comfortably on Ash's shoulder while Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario relaxed nearby. Goku and Gohan eagerly perused the menu, their eyes lighting up at the wide array of dishes available. "I recommend the ramen," Goku said enthusiastically, his gaze fixed on the menu. "It's my favorite." Bulma nodded in agreement, scanning the menu with interest. "I'll try the sushi. It looks delicious." Ash glanced at the menu, unsure of what to choose. His travels had taken him to many regions with diverse cuisines, but he was curious to try something new in this world. After a moment's consideration, he decided to follow Goku's recommendation and ordered a bowl of ramen, eager to experience the local flavors. As they waited for their food to arrive, conversation flowed easily among them. Goku shared stories of his training with Master Roshi and adventures with his friends, recounting battles against powerful foes and humorous anecdotes from his childhood. Gohan talked about his studies and training under his father, Goku, and how he balanced his responsibilities as a scholar and a defender of Earth. Bulma joined in with tales of her scientific discoveries and adventures across different dimensions, detailing her research into energy fields and interdimensional travel. Dend, the Namekian who had joined them earlier, spoke quietly about his role as Earth's guardian and his experiences with the Z-Fighters in defending the planet from various threats. Ash listened with rapt attention, absorbing every detail of their stories. He marveled at their strength, determination, and unwavering commitment to protecting their world. Despite the differences between their universes, Ash felt a kinship with Goku, Gohan, Bulma, and Dend. A shared bond forged through their shared experiences and mutual respect. Their food arrived soon after, served in steaming bowls and plates overflowing with delicious dishes. Ash eagerly dug into his ramen, savoring the rich flavors and hearty broth. Pikachu nibbled on a plate of assorted berries and fruits, his cheeks sparkling with contentment. "This is amazing," Ash exclaimed between bites, his enthusiasm evident. "I've never tasted anything like this before." Goku grinned, slurping a mouthful of ramen with gusto. "Glad you like it, Ash. Food always tastes better when you've earned it." The others chuckled in agreement, sharing in the simple joy of good food and camaraderie. As they ate, Ash couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for their hospitality and friendship. They had welcomed him and his Pokémon with open arms, offering help and support without hesitation. Once their appetites were satisfied and their conversation had wound down, Bulma returned to the topic of the dimensional rift that had brought Ash and his Pokémon to their world. She set her device on the table, its screen displaying data and schematics related to the rift. "I've been studying the rift's energy signatures," Bulma began, her voice serious. "It's unlike anything I've encountered before. The technology Team Rocket used was crude but effective, capable of creating a stable rift between dimensions." Gohan leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Do you think they were trying to bring something through the rift?" Bulma nodded thoughtfully. "It's possible. Dimensional rifts can be unpredictable, especially when manipulated by technology. Team Rocket might have been experimenting with ways to transport objects or even beings between worlds." Ash's brow furrowed in concern. But why would Team Rocket want to open a rift like that? What were they hoping to achieve? Goku scratched his head, his expression thoughtful. "They're always up to something, those guys. But causing chaos and trying to take over the world are usually at the top of their list." Bulma nodded in agreement. Team Rocket has a history of using technology for nefarious purposes. If they managed to control the rift, they could wreak havoc across multiple dimensions. Den spoke up quietly, his voice calm yet firm. We must remain vigilant. The rift may have closed for now, but we cannot discount the possibility of future disruptions. Ash glanced at his Pokémon, who were listening intently to the conversation. Pikachu chirped softly, his ears twitching with a mix of curiosity and concern. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario exchanged silent nods, understanding the gravity of the situation. What should we do next? Ash asked, his voice earnest. How can we prevent something like this from happening again? Gohan looked around the table, meeting each person's gaze with a determined expression. We need to gather more information. Bulma's research into the rift is a good start, but we should also reach out to others who might have knowledge or experience with dimensional travel. Bulma nodded in agreement. I'll continue analyzing the data we've collected. With any luck, we'll uncover clues that could help us understand how the rift was created and how to prevent future incidents. Goku grinned confidently, his eyes gleaming with determination. And in the meantime, we'll train. If Team Rocket shows up again, we'll be ready for them. Ash felt a surge of determination wash over him. They had faced challenges before, from battling powerful Pokémon trainers to thwarting criminal organizations. This was just another hurdle to overcome, and he knew that together, they could make a difference. Count me in, Ash said firmly, his voice echoing with conviction. Whatever it takes to protect this world and find a way home, I'm ready. His Pokémon nodded in agreement, their eyes reflecting their trainer's resolve. They had faced adversity together, standing strong in the face of danger and uncertainty. Now, with new friends by their side and a shared goal to guide them, Ash and his Pokémon were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the afternoon sun began to dip toward the horizon, they left the restaurant with renewed determination. Goku suggested a visit to the nearby training grounds, where they could hone their skills and prepare for the challenges to come. Ash and his Pokémon eagerly agreed, eager to continue their journey of discovery and growth in this unfamiliar but welcoming world. The new day dawned over the training grounds, a serene valley shielded by hills and crowned with a dense canopy of trees. The tranquil ambiance was perfect for the rigorous training that lay ahead. The morning air was crisp, filled with the earthy aroma of dew-kissed grass and the fresh scent of the surrounding forest. As Ash and his Pokémon prepared for their day, the sky above began to lighten, the first rays of sunlight casting long shadows across the landscape. Goku led Ash, Gohan, Bulma, and Den to the designated area, his energy and enthusiasm evident in his springy steps. The training grounds were a broad clearing dotted with boulders and small outcrops, a place where strength and agility would both be tested. Goku's confident stride and the gleam in his eyes showed his readiness for the day's challenges. Ash, equally eager, was determined to push himself and his Pokémon to new heights. Bulma carried a sleek, advanced device, its screen flickering with data and energy readings. I'll set up here, she announced, finding a flat rock to serve as her workstation. While you guys train, I'll continue analyzing the dimensional rift's energy signatures. Ash nodded appreciatively. Thanks, Bulma. We need all the information we can get. Gohan, standing beside Goku, surveyed the area with a practiced eye. The terrain here is ideal for honing different skills, speed, power, and strategy. Ash glanced around, his excitement mounting. Perfect. We need to be ready for anything. Pikachu, perched on Ash's shoulder, echoed his excitement with a vigorous Pika. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario each took their positions, ready to engage in the intense training Goku had promised. Goku clapped his hands, his voice carrying an encouraging tone. All right, let's start with some sparring matches to warm up. Ash, why don't you and Pikachu face Gohan and me? Ash's eyes sparkled with the thrill of the challenge. You're on, Goku. As they paired off, Ash and Pikachu took a stance opposite Goku and Gohan. The tension was palpable, the anticipation of the sparring match hanging in the air. The grass beneath their feet was soft yet resilient, perfect for the dynamic movements they would soon be executing. Pikachu, let's go with quick attack, Ash called out, his voice ringing with enthusiasm. Pikachu surged forward, becoming a blur of yellow light streaking toward Goku. Goku, his stance relaxed yet ready, met Pikachu's speed with a knowing grin. Bring it on, Pikachu. Goku's tone was filled with excitement. Simultaneously, Gohan squared off against Ash. "Show me what you've got, Charizard," he challenged. Charizard roared in response, flames flickering at the edges of his mouth. He spread his wings wide and launched a searing flamethrower toward Gohan. Gohan, showing his agility, evaded the attack with a swift, graceful leap. As the battle commenced, the clearing was soon filled with the crackle of electricity, the roar of flames, and the hum of energy blasts. Pikachu's quick attack was a rapid succession of strikes, each one a burst of lightning-quick movement that Goku deftly countered. Goku's speed was extraordinary. He moved with such precision that he seemed to anticipate Pikachu's every move. Meanwhile, Charizard's flamethrower illuminated the training grounds, the intense heat shimmering in the air. Gohan responded with a series of well-timed dodges and energy blasts, his movements fluid and controlled. Charizard, undeterred, roared defiantly and increased the intensity of his flames, determined to push Gohan to his limits. As the battle intensified, Ash watched Goku's movements with a mix of admiration and determination. Goku's ability to predict and counter Pikachu's attacks was astounding, and it was clear he was not even exerting his full power. Pikachu's thunderbolt crackled through the air, but Goku evaded it effortlessly, his grin never wavering. Gohan, on the other hand, displayed an impressive blend of offense and defense against Charizard. His energy blasts were precise, cutting through Charizard's flames with ease, yet he was careful to measure his power, pushing Charizard without overwhelming him. Goku and Gohan were not just sparring, they were teaching through their movements, demonstrating strategies and techniques that Ash and his Pokémon could learn from. Ash could see the respect and camaraderie in their eyes, a reflection of the mutual challenge and growth that training together fostered. Pikachu's cheeks sparked with electric energy, his attacks growing more potent as he adjusted to Goku's defenses. Charizard's flames roared louder, his power increasing as he matched Gohan's pace. Greninja and Lucario joined the fray, their water-based attacks and aura-enhanced strikes adding new dimensions to the battle. Greninja's water shuriken and Lucario's aura sphere streaked through the air, their precision and speed adding to the dynamic nature of the sparring match. Goku and Gohan met their attacks with a combination of agility and counterstrikes, their movements a seamless blend of offense and defense. Ash and his Pokémon were pushed to their limits, each encounter teaching them something new about their abilities and strategies. Pikachu's Thunderbolt grew sharper, his control over the electric energy improving with each strike. Charizard's flamethrower burned brighter, his mastery over the flames evident in the intensity of his attacks. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its warm light over the training grounds, the sparring session reached its climax. Pikachu and Goku faced off in a final, exhilarating showdown. Pikachu's Thunderbolt surged with renewed power, the electric energy crackling through the air with fierce intensity. Goku grinned, his eyes filled with admiration for Pikachu's determination. "Amazing, Pikachu! Show me your true power." Ash's voice rang out, filled with pride and encouragement. "Give it everything you've got, Pikachu." Pikachu's Thunderbolt burst forth, a brilliant arc of electric energy that crackled and hummed as it raced toward Goku. Goku, his stance firm, met the attack head-on, his body radiating energy as he absorbed the impact with a powerful block. The air vibrated with the force of the Thunderbolt, the ground beneath them trembling as the energy dissipated into the atmosphere. Goku's grin widened, his eyes shining with approval. "You've got a strong partner, Ash. Pikachu's got some serious power," Goku praised, his voice filled with genuine admiration. Ash beamed with pride, his heart swelling with gratitude. "Thanks, Goku. Pikachu's been with me through everything. We've come a long way together." Gohan, having concluded his battle with Charizard, joined them with a smile. "Your training paid off, Ash. You and your Pokémon make a formidable team." Bulma, having monitored the battles closely, approached with her device in hand. Her eyes were focused on the screen, analyzing the data with keen interest. "I've been studying the data from your battles. It seems the dimensional rift has had a positive effect on your Pokémon's abilities." Ash nodded in agreement, his excitement palpable. "I can feel it too. They're stronger and more focused than ever." Dend, who had been observing from a distance, hovered nearby. His gaze was thoughtful, his voice reflective. The dimensional rift may have altered their energy signatures, allowing them to tap into new abilities and strengths. As they regrouped in the center of the training grounds, the sense of camaraderie and shared purpose was stronger than ever. They had pushed each other to their limits, learned from each other's strengths, and forged bonds through their shared experiences. The sun was now high in the sky, casting its warm light over the training grounds and illuminating the faces of Ash and his companions. They were tired but exhilarated, their bodies buzzing with the thrill of battle and the satisfaction of pushing themselves to new heights. "Great job, everyone," Goku said with a wide grin, clapping Ash on the shoulder. "You're all getting stronger every day." Ash nodded gratefully, his heart swelling with pride. "Thanks, Goku. I couldn't have done it without your help." Gohan joined in with a smile, his voice encouraging. "You've got a lot of potential, Ash. Keep pushing yourself, and you'll reach new heights." Bulma, still engrossed in her analysis, looked up from her device. "The data I've collected is fascinating. Your Pokemon's abilities are evolving in response to the unique energy of this dimension." Ash glanced at his Pokemon, a sense of pride swelling within him. "I can feel it too. They're stronger and more focused than ever." Goku's eyes gleamed with excitement, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "That's the spirit, Ash. Training is all about pushing yourself to new limits and discovering what you're capable of." As they continued their discussion, a sudden commotion interrupted their conversation. They turned to see Master Roshi approaching, his expression a mix of amusement and curiosity. Well, looks like you kids had quite the battle," Master Roshi said with a chuckle, eyeing Ash and his Pokemon with interest. "Not bad at all." Ash grinned sheepishly, feeling a rush of pride at Master Roshi's praise. "Thanks, Master Roshi. We've been training hard." Goku clapped his hands together, his eyes alight with excitement. "Why don't we continue our training with a little sparring match with Master Roshi as the referee?" Master Roshi's chuckle deepened, eyes twinkling with mischief. "Count me in. It's been a while since I've seen such spirited training. Let's see what you've got." The suggestion added a new layer of excitement to the afternoon's training. Ash and his Pokemon, alongside Goku and Gohan, prepared for another round of intense sparring, this time with Master Roshi overseeing the matches. His experienced eye would not only ensure fairness but also provide valuable insights and feedback. The sparring resumed with renewed vigor. Pikachu, charged up from the earlier bouts, was ready to unleash his full potential. Ash called out commands with an assertive voice, guiding Pikachu through a series of agile maneuvers. Pikachu responded with enthusiasm, his movements sharp and precise. "Let's go with Iron Tail, Pikachu," Ash shouted. Pikachu's tail gleamed metallic as he darted towards Goku, who was prepared for the attack. With a swift motion, Goku sidestepped and countered with a rapid strike that Pikachu narrowly evaded. The exchange was fast and fluid, a display of agility and quick thinking. Meanwhile, Gohan faced off against Greninja, who was using his speed and water-based techniques to full advantage. Greninja's water shuriken whizzed through the air, forcing Gohan to deflect them with bursts of energy. The battle was a test of accuracy and reaction time, each fighter adapting to the other's strategies. Lucario took on a unique challenge, facing both Goku and Gohan in a demonstration of his aura abilities. His aura sphere attacks glowed with blue energy, crackling as they surged toward his opponents. Goku and Gohan worked together to dodge and counter, their coordinated movements showcasing their bond and training. Master Roshi, standing on a nearby rock, watched intently, occasionally offering tips and encouragement. "Good form, Lucario. Focus your energy and strike with precision." Lucario nodded, taking Master Roshi's advice to heart. His next aura sphere was more controlled, the energy focused into a tighter, more powerful attack. The sparring intensified, with Lucario adapting to the new challenges posed by Goku and Gohan's combined efforts. Charizard, not to be outdone, roared and launched into the sky, engaging Gohan in an aerial battle. His wings beat powerfully, creating gusts of wind as he unleashed streams of flames. Gohan, now airborne as well, met Charizard's flames with energy blasts, the sky around them alight with fiery and explosive bursts. "Your Charizard's got real fire in him," Gohan remarked, his voice carrying over the sound of the battle. "Keep up the pressure, Ash." Ash responded with a grin, his voice brimming with encouragement. "You've got this, Charizard. Show them your power." The battles continued, each one pushing Ash and his Pokemon to their limits. Pikachu's electric attacks grew more precise, his thunderbolt crackling with increased intensity. Greninja's water shuriken spun faster, their edges sharper as he refined his technique. Lucario's aura spheres became more concentrated, his control over the energy improving with each attack. Charizard's flamethrower roared with greater ferocity, the flames hotter and more intense. Master Roshi observed each match, his experienced gaze noting every detail. He provided feedback between rounds, his advice helping Ash and his Pokémon fine-tune their abilities and strategies. "You're doing great, Ash. Focus on anticipating your opponent's moves and reacting swiftly." Ash absorbed the feedback eagerly, his respect for Master Roshi growing with each insightful comment. "Thanks, Master Roshi. We'll keep working on it." As the afternoon wore on, the battles reached their peak. Pikachu and Goku engaged in a final, high-stakes clash, Pikachu's thunderbolt arcing through the air with incredible force. Goku met the attack with a powerful block, the energy of the thunderbolt colliding with his defenses in a spectacular display of light and sound. "Keep it up, Pikachu," Ash shouted, his voice filled with encouragement. Pikachu responded with a determined, "Pika," his cheeks sparking as he poured all his energy into the attack. Goku, his expression filled with admiration, held his ground, absorbing the energy with a steady, unwavering stance. "You've got amazing power, Pikachu. Well done." As the energy dissipated, Goku lowered his guard, a wide grin spreading across his face. "That was incredible, Ash. You and Pikachu have really grown stronger." Ash beamed with pride, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. "Thanks, Goku. We've been pushing ourselves to our limits." Gohan, having concluded his battle with Charizard, joined them with a smile. "Your training is definitely paying off, Ash. Your Pokémon are showing remarkable improvements." Bulma, who had been analyzing the battles closely, approached with her device in hand. "The data I've collected is fascinating. Your Pokémon's abilities are evolving rapidly in response to this dimension's unique energy." Ash nodded, excitement evident in his voice. "I can feel it too. They're getting stronger and more focused with each battle." Dend, observing quietly from the sidelines, added thoughtfully, "The dimensional rift seems to be enhancing their natural abilities, allowing them to tap into new potentials." As they regrouped in the center of the training grounds, the sense of camaraderie and shared purpose was palpable. They had pushed each other to their limits, learning and growing from the intense sparring sessions. The bonds forged through their shared experiences were stronger than ever. The sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the training grounds. The light filtered through the trees, creating a serene and almost magical atmosphere. The day's training had been grueling but rewarding, leaving everyone feeling a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. Goku clapped his hands together, his voice filled with pride and encouragement. "Great job today, everyone. You've all made amazing progress." Ash, his body tired but his spirit invigorated, responded with a wide grin. "Thanks, Goku. We couldn't have done it without your help." Gohan nodded in agreement, his voice sincere. "You've got a lot of potential, Ash. Keep pushing yourself, and you'll continue to grow stronger." Bulma, still reviewing her data, added thoughtfully, "The more I study this dimensional energy, the more I see its positive impact on your Pokémon. We should continue to monitor and adapt to these changes." Ash glanced at his Pokémon, his heart swelling with pride. "I'm just glad we're all getting stronger together." Master Roshi, stepping down from his vantage point, gave a nod of approval. "You've all shown great spirit and determination today. Keep up the good work." The group shared a moment of quiet satisfaction, the evening air cool and refreshing after the day's exertions. The bonds between them had deepened through their training, each challenge faced together strengthening their resolve and camaraderie. As the light continued to fade, casting long shadows across the clearing, Goku spoke up. "Let's head back to the Capsule Corporation. We can debrief and plan our next steps there." With a collective nod, the group began their journey back, their spirits high despite the day's fatigue. Ash walked alongside his Pokémon, Pikachu perched on his shoulder, Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario flanking him with proud and determined expressions. The walk back was filled with animated conversation and reflections on the day's training. Ash and Goku discussed the different techniques and strategies they had used, exchanging tips and insights. Gohan shared his thoughts on the battles, offering advice on how to improve their coordination and responsiveness. Bulma, her device in hand, continued to analyze the data, her curiosity piqued by the evolving energy signatures of Ash's Pokémon. "I'm seeing some interesting patterns here," she remarked. The dimensional energy is definitely influencing their abilities in unique ways. Dend, walking beside them, added, "It's possible that the rift's energy is enhancing their natural strengths, allowing them to adapt and grow more rapidly." Ash listened intently, absorbing the information with a keen interest. "Whatever it is, I'm glad we're getting stronger. We need to be ready for anything if we're going to find a way home." Goku nodded in agreement, his expression serious but supportive. "You're right, Ash. We need to be prepared for whatever challenges come our way." As they approached the Capsule Corporation, the familiar sight of the towering buildings and advanced technology brought a sense of comfort and familiarity. The group entered the main building, where Bulma led them to a spacious meeting room filled with screens and monitors. "Let's review the data from today's training," Bulma suggested, activating a large display screen that projected graphs and energy readings. "I've compiled everything we observed during the battles." The screen showed detailed analyses of Pikachu's Thunderbolt, Charizard's Flamethrower, Greninja's Water Shuriken, and Lucario's Aura Sphere. Each graph highlighted the improvements in power, precision, and control that had been observed throughout the day. "The dimensional energy is definitely enhancing their abilities," Bulma explained, pointing to the rising graphs. "Their attacks are becoming more potent and their control over their powers is increasing." Ash studied the data with fascination. "It's amazing to see how much they've grown in such a short time." Dend, reviewing the information with a thoughtful expression, added, "It's important to understand how this energy is affecting them. We need to ensure it's a positive influence and not something that could have unforeseen consequences." Goku, his arms crossed and his expression serious, nodded in agreement. "We'll keep training and stay vigilant. We need to make sure we're fully prepared for whatever we encounter, both in terms of our abilities and understanding this dimensional energy." As the analysis continued, the room buzzed with focused discussions and strategic planning. Bulma's data offered insights into how each of Ash's Pokémon was adapting to the unique energy of the DBZ universe. Pikachu's Thunderbolt showed increased electrical discharge, indicative of a deeper resonance with the surrounding environment. Charizard's Flames had a higher temperature and more concentrated energy, while Greninja's Water Shuriken had developed a sharper, more aerodynamic form. Lucario's aura abilities were more refined, his control over the energy allowing for more precise and powerful attacks. Ash felt a surge of pride as he absorbed these details. "It's amazing to see their progress laid out like this. We've all come a long way." Bulma nodded, her eyes bright with excitement. "And this is just the beginning. As we continue to train and gather data, we'll learn even more about how to harness this energy effectively." Den's voice was calm but cautious. "We should also remain aware of any potential side effects or changes in behavior. This energy is unfamiliar, and we need to ensure it's not having any negative impacts." Ash agreed, his determination evident in his voice. "We'll keep a close eye on everything. We've got to be ready for whatever comes next." Goku, his gaze focused and thoughtful, added, "We should also think about our next steps. Training is essential, but we need to explore other ways to understand and control this energy." Gohan, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed, spoke up. "We could try to locate the source of the dimensional rift. Understanding where it came from and why it's affecting Ash and his Pokémon could give us valuable insights." Bulma nodded, her fingers flying over the keyboard as she pulled up additional data. "I've been analyzing the energy signatures around the rift. It's unlike anything we've encountered before. There are fluctuations and patterns that suggest it's connected to multiple dimensions." Ash's curiosity was piqued. "So, it's not just affecting this dimension. It's connected to others as well." "Exactly," Bulma confirmed. "The rift seems to be a convergence point for different dimensions, which could explain why Ash and his Pokémon were drawn here." Goku's eyes lit up with understanding. "So, if we can trace the energy back to its source, we might be able to find a way to control it or even close the rift." Dend, his expression thoughtful, added, "and potentially find a way for Ash and his Pokémon to return home." The group fell into a contemplative silence, the weight of the revelation settling over them. The dimensional rift was not just a random anomaly, it was a complex convergence of energies that could potentially be navigated or controlled. Ash's voice broke the silence, filled with determination. "Whatever it takes, we'll figure it out. We've come this far, and we're not giving up now." Goku clapped Ash on the shoulder, his smile wide and encouraging. That's the spirit, Ash. We're in this together, and we'll find a way to solve this mystery. As the discussion continued, they outlined a plan to investigate the dimensional rift further. Bulma would continue her analysis of the energy signatures, while Goku, Gohan, and Ash would focus on training and honing their abilities. Dend would provide support with his healing abilities and spiritual insights, helping to monitor the effects of the dimensional energy on Ash's Pokémon. The sense of purpose and determination in the room was palpable. Each of them was committed to uncovering the secrets of the dimensional rift and ensuring Ash and his Pokémon could safely navigate the challenges ahead. As the meeting concluded, they dispersed to their respective tasks, the evening settling over the Capsule Corporation with a calm, determined energy. Ash and his Pokémon returned to their quarters, their minds buzzing with the day's revelations and the plans for the future. That night, as Ash lay in bed, he reflected on the journey so far. The training, the battles, the discoveries, they were all part of a larger adventure that was pushing him and his Pokémon to new limits. The DBZ universe had challenged them in ways they had never anticipated, but it had also brought them closer together, strengthening their bonds and sharpening their skills. Pikachu curled up beside him, letting out a contented sigh. Ash reached out to scratch Pikachu behind the ears, a sense of warmth and reassurance filling him. "We've got this, buddy. No matter what comes next, we'll face it together." Pikachu nuzzled Ash's hand, his eyes shining with unwavering trust and loyalty. Pika Pie. As the night deepened, the stars outside glimmered brightly, casting a serene glow over the landscape. The challenges of the day had given way to a quiet determination, a resolve to face whatever lay ahead with courage and unity. The following days were filled with a rigorous schedule of training and research. Goku, Gohan, and Ash spent long hours in the training grounds, pushing their limits and exploring new techniques. Each sparring session was a test of their abilities, a chance to refine their skills and adapt to the ever-evolving energy of the dimensional rift. Pikachu's thunderbolt became more controlled and precise, the electric energy crackling with an intensity that resonated with the surrounding environment. Charizard's flamethrower burned hotter, his mastery over the flames evident in the powerful streams of fire he unleashed. Greninja's water shuriken spun faster and more accurately, their edges sharp and deadly. Lucario's aura sphere glowed with a deep blue light, his control over the energy growing stronger with each attack. Bulma continued her analysis of the dimensional rift, her device filled with data and energy readings. She spent long hours in the lab, studying the patterns and fluctuations in the rift's energy, seeking to understand its nature and potential connections to other dimensions. Dend, true to his promise, provided support with his healing abilities and spiritual insights. He monitored the effects of the dimensional energy on Ash's Pokémon, ensuring they remained balanced and focused despite the challenges they faced. The days turned into weeks, each one bringing new discoveries and deeper understanding. The training sessions became more intense, the battles more challenging as Ash and his Pokémon adapted to the unique energy of the DBZ universe. Their abilities grew stronger, their bond deeper as they faced each trial with determination and resolve. One evening, as they gathered in the Capsule Corporation's meeting room, Bulma shared a breakthrough in her research. "I've been analyzing the energy patterns around the dimensional rift, and I think I've found something significant," she announced, her eyes bright with excitement. Ash, Goku, Gohan, and Dend leaned in, their attention focused on the display screen where Bulma had pulled up a series of graphs and diagrams. The data showed a complex web of energy signatures, each one connected to different points in the dimensional fabric. "This rift isn't just a random anomaly," Bulma explained. "It's a convergence point, a place where different dimensions intersect. I believe it's possible to trace these connections and potentially find a way to navigate through them." Ash's eyes widened with anticipation. "So, we could find a way back home?" Bulma nodded. "It's a possibility, but it's going to require a lot of precision and careful navigation. We need to understand how to control these energy flows and ensure we're not destabilizing anything in the process." Goku's expression was serious but hopeful. "We'll need to train harder and prepare for any potential challenges. This could be our way to help Ash and his Pokémon return to their world." Gohan added thoughtfully, "And we'll need to be ready for whatever we might encounter along the way. Navigating through different dimensions could bring us into contact with unknown forces." Den's voice was calm but firm. "We'll need to approach this with caution and respect. The energy of the rift is powerful, and we must ensure we're not causing harm as we navigate through it. As they discussed their next steps, the sense of purpose and determination in the room was stronger than ever. They had a plan, a direction to follow that could potentially lead Ash and his Pokémon back home. The challenges were daunting, but they were ready to face them together, united by their shared resolve and the bonds they had forged through their journey. The evening passed with a flurry of preparations and strategic planning. Bulma outlined the steps they would need to take to harness and navigate the dimensional energy, while Goku, Gohan, and Ash discussed the training regimens that would prepare them for the challenges ahead. As the night deepened, the group dispersed to their quarters, their minds filled with anticipation and determination. Ash and his Pokémon settled in for the night, their hearts buoyed by the hope and excitement of the possibilities ahead. Pikachu curled up beside Ash, his eyes filled with trust and loyalty. Ash reached out to pat Pikachu's head, a sense of warmth and reassurance filling him. "We're getting closer, Pikachu. We'll find a way home, I promise." Pikachu nuzzled Ash's hand, his voice filled with unwavering confidence. Pika Pi. The stars outside shone brightly, casting a serene glow over the Capsule Corporation. The night was quiet, filled with the promise of new discoveries and the hope of returning home. Ash drifted off to sleep, his dreams filled with visions of the journey ahead and the challenges they would face together. The following morning dawned clear and bright, the first rays of sunlight casting a golden glow over the training grounds. Ash and his Pokémon were up early, ready for another day of rigorous training and preparation under the rising sun. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of fresh grass and the faint hum of energy that had become familiar in their training. Goku and Gohan joined them, their expressions determined, ready to push their limits further. As they gathered in the clearing, Goku addressed the group, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "Today, we're going to test everything we've learned so far. We'll push our abilities to the edge and see how far we can go." Ash nodded, his eyes shining with resolve. "We're ready. Let's give it everything we've got." Pikachu leapt onto Ash's shoulder, his cheeks sparking with anticipation. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario took their positions, their stances indicating readiness and confidence. The training began with a series of intense sparring sessions. Pikachu faced off against Goku, their movements quick and precise. Pikachu's thunderbolt crackled through the air, the electric energy sharper and more controlled than ever. Goku responded with swift dodges and powerful counters, their battle a blur of motion and energy. Nearby, Gohan and Lucario engaged in a fierce exchange of attacks. Lucario's aura spheres glowed with a deep blue light, his mastery over the energy evident in the focused precision of his strikes. Gohan countered with rapid energy blasts, his movements fluid and coordinated. Charizard and Greninja paired off, their battle taking to the skies. Charizard's wings beat powerfully as he unleashed streams of fire, while Greninja darted through the air with agility, his water shuriken slicing through the flames with deadly accuracy. Bulma observed from the sidelines, her device in hand, capturing data on the energy fluctuations and the effectiveness of the training. Her eyes gleamed with excitement as she noted the significant improvements in Ash's Pokémon. Each attack, each movement was more refined, their control over the dimensional energy more precise. As the morning wore on, the battles grew more intense. Pikachu's Thunderbolt evolved into a powerful combination attack, his electricity merging with the ambient energy to create a devastating strike. Charizard's Flamethrower roared with an intensity that sent waves of heat across the training ground. Greninja's Water Shuriken became more aerodynamic and lethal, cutting through the air with pinpoint accuracy. Lucario's Aura Sphere glowed brighter, his control over the energy allowing for rapid, powerful bursts. Goku, Gohan, and Ash pushed their limits, their bodies and minds in perfect sync with their Pokémon. Each battle tested their resolve, their skills, and their ability to adapt to the evolving energy around them. The training was grueling, but the sense of progress and camaraderie fueled their determination. As the sun reached its zenith, casting a warm glow over the clearing, the group paused for a moment of respite. They gathered under a large tree, the shade providing a cool refuge from the heat of the day. Bulma joined them, her device filled with data, her expression filled with excitement and pride. "You're all doing incredible work," she said, her voice brimming with admiration. "The data I've collected shows remarkable progress. Your control over the dimensional energy is improving rapidly. Ash, his face flushed from exertion but filled with pride, responded with a wide grin. "We've been giving it everything we've got. It's amazing to see how far we've come." Goku nodded, his expression thoughtful. "We're getting stronger, but we still have a lot to learn. We need to stay focused and keep pushing ourselves." Gohan, wiping sweat from his brow, added, "And we need to be ready for anything. The dimensional rift is still a mystery, and we have to be prepared for whatever challenges it might bring." Bulma's eyes sparkled with determination. "We're making progress on that front too. I've identified some key patterns in the energy fluctuations. If we can harness these, we might be able to navigate the rift more effectively." Dent, who had been meditating nearby, opened his eyes and joined the conversation. "We should also consider the spiritual aspects of this journey. The dimensional energy is not just physical, it's connected to our spirits and our resolve. We need to be mindful of our intentions and the impact of our actions." Ash listened intently, absorbing the wisdom and advice from his companions. The journey ahead was challenging, but he felt a deep sense of unity and purpose. They were not just training to return home, they were preparing to face any challenges that might arise, to protect each other, and to grow stronger together. The afternoon was filled with renewed energy as they returned to the training grounds. The battles resumed, each one a test of their abilities and their understanding of the dimensional energy. The sun cast long shadows across the clearing, the light filtering through the trees in a serene and almost magical glow. As the day drew to a close, they gathered once more in the Capsule Corporation's meeting room. Bulma displayed the latest data on the screen, her voice filled with excitement. "We've made significant progress today. The energy signatures are stabilizing, and we're starting to see a clear pattern in the rift's fluctuations." Ash's eyes widened with anticipation. "Does that mean we're getting closer to finding a way home?" Bulma nodded, her expression filled with hope. "It's a possibility. We're not there yet, but we're making important strides. If we continue to refine our understanding of the energy and our control over it, we might be able to navigate the rift safely." Goku's face lit up with a wide grin. "That's great news. We'll keep training and pushing our limits. We've come this far, and we're not stopping now." Gohan added thoughtfully, "And we need to stay vigilant. The rift is still a mystery, and we have to be ready for anything." Dent, his expression serene, nodded in agreement. "Our journey is about more than just physical strength. It's about understanding and harmony. We must be prepared in body, mind, and spirit." As they concluded their meeting, a sense of unity and determination filled the room. They had faced countless challenges and grown stronger together, their bonds deepened by the trials and triumphs they had shared. The journey ahead was still uncertain, but they were ready to face it with courage and resolve. That night, as Ash and his Pokémon settled into their quarters, a sense of quiet anticipation filled the air. The stars outside glimmered brightly, casting a serene glow over the Capsule Corporation. The challenges of the day had given way to a calm determination, a resolve to face whatever lay ahead with strength and unity. Pikachu curled up beside Ash, his eyes filled with trust and loyalty. Ash reached out to pat Pikachu's head, a sense of warmth and reassurance filling him. "We're getting closer, buddy. We're making progress every day." Pikachu nuzzled Ash's hand, his voice filled with unwavering confidence. "Pika Pie." As Ash drifted off to sleep, his dreams were filled with visions of the journey ahead and the challenges they would face together. The DBZ universe had tested them in ways they had never anticipated, but it had also brought them closer together, strengthening their bonds and sharpening their skills. The following morning dawned with a new sense of purpose. Ash and his Pokémon were up early, ready for another day of training and preparation. The sun rose over the training grounds, casting a golden glow over the landscape and filling the air with a sense of hope and possibility. As they gathered in the clearing, Goku, Gohan, and Bulma joined them, their expressions filled with determination and excitement. They had a plan, a direction to follow that could potentially lead Ash and his Pokémon back home. The challenges were daunting, but they were ready to face them together, united by their shared resolve and the bonds they had forged through their journey. The training began anew, each sparring session a test of their abilities and their understanding of the dimensional energy. Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario pushed their limits, their control over their powers growing stronger with each battle. Goku, Gohan, and Ash worked together, refining their techniques and adapting to the evolving energy around them. Bulma continued her research, her device capturing data and energy readings. She spent long hours in the lab, analyzing the patterns and fluctuations in the rift's energy, seeking to understand its nature and potential connections to other dimensions. Dend provided support with his healing abilities and spiritual insights, ensuring they remained balanced and focused despite the challenges they faced. His calm presence and wisdom were a source of strength and reassurance for the group. As the days turned into weeks, the sense of progress and unity grew stronger. The training sessions became more intense, the battles more challenging as they adapted to the unique energy of the dimensional rift. Their abilities grew sharper, their bond deeper as they faced each trial with determination and resolve. One evening, as they gathered in the Capsule Corporation's meeting room, Bulma shared another breakthrough in her research. "I've identified a key pattern in the energy fluctuations. If we can harness this, we might be able to stabilize the rift and find a way to navigate through it." Ash's eyes lit up with excitement. "So, we could find a way back home?" Bulma nodded, her expression filled with hope. "It's a possibility. We still have a lot to learn, but we're making important strides. If we continue to refine our understanding of the energy and our control over it, we might be able to navigate the rift safely." Goku's face broke into a wide grin. "That's fantastic news. We'll keep training and pushing our limits. We've come this far, and we're not stopping now." Gohan added thoughtfully, "And we need to stay vigilant and prepared. Navigating the rift safely will require everything we've learned and more." Den's serene expression reflected a deep understanding. "We must approach this with a balance of strength and wisdom. The rift's energy is powerful, and we must ensure our actions are harmonious with its nature." The room fell into a contemplative silence, the weight of their task settling over them. Yet amidst the gravity, there was an unspoken resolve. They were not just attempting to return Ash and his Pokémon home, they were embarking on a journey that required their utmost courage, unity, and growth. The night was filled with final preparations and strategic discussions. Bulma outlined the steps they needed to take to stabilize the rift's energy patterns, emphasizing the importance of precision and coordination. Goku, Gohan, and Ash discussed their roles in the plan, focusing on their strengths and how they could best support each other. As the meeting concluded, the group dispersed with a sense of purpose and determination. Ash and his Pokémon returned to their quarters, their minds buzzing with anticipation for the challenges ahead. The stars outside gleamed brightly, casting a serene glow over the Capsule Corporation, a silent witness to the quiet determination of the group within. Ash lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, his thoughts racing. "We're almost there, Pikachu. We just need to stay focused and give it everything we've got." Pikachu, curled up beside him, nuzzled his hand. "Pika Pie," he murmured, his voice filled with unwavering trust and confidence. The next morning dawned with a brilliant sunrise, casting golden rays across the training grounds. The air was crisp and filled with a sense of renewed energy as Ash and his Pokémon gathered for what they knew would be a critical day. Goku, Gohan, and Bulma joined them, their expressions a mix of determination and hope. Bulma had set up a sophisticated array of equipment around the dimensional rift, her fingers flying over her tablet as she made final adjustments. "Everything is in place," she announced, her voice steady but charged with excitement. "We're ready to begin the stabilization process." Goku, his face serious but encouraging, turned to Ash. "Remember, this is a team effort. We'll need to coordinate our energy and stay focused. Trust in your Pokémon and in yourself." Ash nodded, his eyes blazing with resolve. "We've got this. We're ready." Bulma initiated the sequence, and the air around the rift began to shimmer with a complex pattern of energy waves. The ground beneath them vibrated with a deep, resonant hum as the rift's energy fluctuated in response. Ash, Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario positioned themselves around the rift, their expressions focused and determined. "Now," Bulma called out, "channel your energy into the rift, but maintain control. We need to stabilize the patterns and create a navigable path." Pikachu was the first to act, his thunderbolt crackling through the air and merging with the rift's energy. Charizard followed with a powerful flamethrower, the flames intertwining with the fluctuating patterns. Greninja's water shuriken sliced through the air, adding a sharp, cutting precision to the energy flows. Lucario's aura sphere glowed brightly, its deep blue light harmonizing with the rift's vibrations. Ash felt the energy surge through him, a powerful current that connected him to his Pokémon in the rift. He closed his eyes, focusing on the bond he shared with his team, channeling their combined strength and resolve into the stabilization process. The rift responded, its energy patterns shifting and aligning with the inputs from Ash and his Pokémon. The fluctuations began to steady, the chaotic waves transforming into a more coherent, navigable path. Goku and Gohan added their energy, their ki merging with the dimensional currents to further stabilize the rift. Bulma monitored the readings closely, her eyes wide with anticipation. It's working. Keep it steady, we're almost there. The air around the rift glowed with an intense light as the energy patterns locked into place, forming a stable, pulsating pathway. The vibrations in the ground intensified, then gradually subsided as the rift settled into a calm, controlled state. Ash opened his eyes, a mix of relief and exhilaration flooding through him. We did it, he breathed, his voice filled with awe and triumph. We've stabilized the rift. Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario gathered around him, their eyes shining with pride and accomplishment. Goku and Gohan approached, their faces lit with wide grins. That was incredible, Goku said, clapping Ash on the back. You and your Pokémon did an amazing job. Gohan nodded in agreement. The way you channeled your energy was impressive. We couldn't have done it without you. Bulma approached, her eyes bright with excitement. The rift is stable, and we've created a path. It's not a permanent solution, but it should be navigable enough for you to return home. Dend, who had been observing from a distance, joined them, his expression serene. You've achieved a remarkable feat. This is a testament to your strength, your bond, and your spirit. Ash's heart swelled with a mixture of emotions, relief, joy, and a deep sense of accomplishment. We couldn't have done it without all of you, he said, his voice filled with gratitude. Thank you for everything. Goku grinned, his eyes sparkling with pride. We're a team, Ash. We all did this together. Bulma's gaze softened as she looked at the stable rift. You should prepare for your journey back. We don't know how long the stability will last, and you need to take this opportunity while you can. Ash turned to his Pokémon, his eyes shining with a mixture of excitement and determination. Are you ready to go home? Pikachu leapt onto his shoulder, his voice filled with unwavering confidence. Pika Pi. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario nodded, their expressions reflecting the same resolve. As they gathered around the rift, the air was filled with a sense of anticipation and hope. The path before them was clear, a stable, pulsating gateway that offered a way back to their own dimension. Ash turned to his friends, his heart filled with gratitude. Thank you all for everything. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Goku smiled, his eyes warm. Take care, Ash, and remember, you'll always have friends here. Gohan nodded, his expression encouraging. Good luck, Ash, we believe in you. Bulma's voice was gentle but firm. Stay safe, and trust in your bond with your Pokémon. That's what brought you this far, and it will guide you home. Dend raised a hand in farewell, his eyes filled with wisdom and peace. May your journey be safe and your spirit strong. With a final nod of determination, Ash stepped forward, his Pokémon by his side. The energy of the rift enveloped them, a brilliant light that shimmered and pulsed with a welcoming warmth. They took a deep breath, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and anticipation. As they entered the rift, the world around them shifted and swirled, the light growing brighter and more intense. They felt a surge of energy, a powerful current that pulled them forward, guiding them through the dimensional pathways. The light intensified, and for a moment, everything was a blinding, radiant glow. Then, with a final burst of energy, they emerged on the other side, the familiar landscape of their own world stretching out before them. Ash blinked, his heart racing as he took in the sight. They were home. The fields, the trees, the sky, it was all exactly as they had left it. He turned to his Pokémon, their eyes wide with a mixture of wonder and relief. We did it, Ash breathed, his voice trembling with emotion. We're home. Pikachu leapt into his arms, nuzzling his cheek. Pika Pi. Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario gathered around him, their expressions filled with joy and pride. As they looked around, the weight of their journey began to lift, replaced by a profound sense of accomplishment and unity. They had faced unimaginable challenges, navigated through unknown dimensions, and emerged stronger and more connected than ever. Ash took a deep breath, his heart swelling with gratitude and determination. We couldn't have done it without each other. We faced every challenge, and we never gave up. And now, we're home. Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario nodded in agreement, their eyes shining with a shared sense of triumph. As they stood together, the sun shining brightly overhead, the world around them seemed to come alive with a renewed sense of possibility and hope. They had faced the unknown, and they had returned stronger, their bond unbreakable. The journey had tested them in ways they could never have imagined, but it had also brought them closer together, forging a connection that transcended dimensions. And as they looked forward, the future stretched out before them, filled with new adventures and endless possibilities. Together, they had faced the challenge of the dimensional rift, and together, they had found their way home. The journey had changed them, but it had also strengthened their resolve, deepened their bond, and filled their hearts with a profound sense of unity and hope. And as they stood together, the world around them bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them as they always had, together, with courage, friendship, and unwavering determination. The days that followed their return were filled with a mix of celebration and reflection. Ash and his Pokémon reunited with their friends and family, their tales of adventure met with awe and admiration. The bonds they had forged during their journey through the dimensional rift had deepened, their experiences forever etched into their hearts. In Pallet Town, Professor Oak listened with keen interest as Ash recounted their extraordinary journey. The professor's eyes gleamed with fascination at the mention of the DBZ universe, the dimensional rift, and the newfound powers Ash and his Pokémon had developed. "This is a remarkable story, Ash. Your experiences with the dimensional energy and your interactions with Goku and his friends have opened new avenues of understanding. It's a testament to the strength of your bonds and your adaptability." Ash nodded, his expression thoughtful. "We learned a lot, not just about new powers, but about ourselves. The challenges we faced made us stronger and brought us closer together." As they settled back into their routine, the lessons from their journey continued to shape their training and interactions. Ash and his Pokémon integrated the techniques they had learned, refining their control over the dimensional energy and applying it to their battles and training sessions. Pikachu's Thunderbolt had gained a new intensity, Charizard's Flamethrower roared with greater ferocity, Greninja's Water Shuriken was more precise and powerful, and Lucario's Aura Sphere glowed with a deeper blue, reflecting their enhanced control and understanding. In the days following their return, Ash felt a lingering connection to the DBZ universe, a subtle awareness of the energy patterns and the lessons they had learned. This connection served as a reminder of the strength they had gained and the friendships they had forged. He often found himself thinking of Goku, Gohan, Bulma, and Dend, their shared experiences forming a lasting bond despite the dimensions that separated them. One afternoon, as Ash and his Pokémon trained in the fields outside Pallet Town, a familiar sense of presence washed over them. Ash paused, his senses tingling with a recognition he couldn't quite place. He turned to Pikachu, who was perched on a nearby rock, his ears twitching with the same awareness. "Do you feel that, Pikachu?" Ash asked, his voice filled with curiosity. Pikachu nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. "Pika." As the sensation grew stronger, a shimmering light appeared in the air before them, the dimensional energy pulsing with a gentle glow. Ash's heart quickened with a mixture of excitement and anticipation as the light coalesced into a familiar form. Goku's figure emerged from the light, his face breaking into a wide grin. "Hey, Ash." Ash's eyes widened with surprise and delight. "Goku, what are you doing here?" Goku laughed, his eyes twinkling with warmth. "I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Plus, I figured it would be fun to have a little sparring match, just like old times." Ash grinned, his eyes lighting up with excitement. "That sounds awesome. We've been training hard, and I'd love to see how much we've improved." As Goku and Ash squared off, their Pokémon gathered around, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario took their positions, their expressions reflecting their eagerness for the challenge. The sparring match was intense and exhilarating, a testament to the growth and strength they had achieved through their journey. Ash and his Pokémon fought with a newfound confidence and mastery over their abilities, their moves swift and powerful. Goku matched their energy with his own, his movements fluid and precise, a grin never far from his face. The battle raged on, the field filled with bursts of energy, flames, and lightning. Each clash was a demonstration of their skill and the bond they shared, a celebration of the journey they had undertaken and the strength they had gained. As the match drew to a close, both Ash and Goku were breathless but exhilarated, their faces alight with the thrill of the battle. Ash's Pokémon gathered around him, their eyes shining with pride and accomplishment. Goku clapped Ash on the shoulder, his grin wide and genuine. "You've really come a long way, Ash. You and your Pokémon have gotten a lot stronger." Ash beamed, his eyes bright with pride. "Thanks, Goku. We couldn't have done it without everything we learned from you and your friends." Goku's expression softened with warmth. "We're all stronger because of the experiences we've shared. Remember, you always have friends in our world, no matter how far apart we are." As Goku prepared to return to his own dimension, the shimmering light of the rift began to form around him. He turned to Ash with a wave, his eyes filled with a promise of future adventures and unbreakable bonds. "Take care, Ash, and keep training hard. We'll meet again someday." Ash waved back, his heart swelling with a mixture of gratitude and anticipation. "You too, Goku. Thanks for everything." As Goku disappeared into the light, the dimensional rift closed, leaving Ash and his Pokémon standing in the warm glow of the afternoon sun. The field around them was quiet, the air filled with a sense of peace and accomplishment. Ash turned to his Pokémon, his heart filled with a deep sense of unity and resolve. "We've come a long way, but our journey is just beginning. There are still so many challenges to face, so many new adventures waiting for us." Pikachu leapt onto his shoulder, his eyes bright with determination. Pika-Pi, Charizard, Greninja, and Lucario gathered around, their expressions reflecting the same resolve and excitement. They were ready for whatever the future held, their bond unbreakable and their spirits unwavering. As they looked out over the horizon, the world before them seemed filled with endless possibilities. The journey through the dimensional rift had tested their strength, deepened their bonds, and shaped their futures in ways they could never have imagined. And as they faced the future together, they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would meet them with courage, friendship, and unwavering determination. Together, they had faced the unknown and emerged stronger. Together, they would continue to grow, to explore, and to protect the world they loved. And together, they would face each new adventure with the same spirit of unity and hope that had carried them through their journey. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the fields, Ash and his Pokémon stood side by side, their hearts filled with the promise of the adventures yet to come. And as the first stars began to twinkle in the evening sky, they knew that their journey was far from over. It was only just beginning. To be continued. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now we will see you in the next video.